It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our play. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
Last we left off, Bell's Hells had come to the city of Eos, the city of flowing light on the southern side of the continent of Marquet, in search of information surrounding the research being done around the Omen Archive and the Grim Verity. You met Planerider Ryn and discovered quite a bit of information about what might be happening, what the goals are of a group called the Ruby Vanguard, that is the Ruidian crew working with Ludinus Da'leth and Orohan, and upon returning to this basement, discovered that the house was recently broken into and is being searched through by members of this vanguard. You decided to strip your clothes off and try and convince them that you were filming pornography or something. I don't know. Which nearly did something. Instead, a battle ensued within this house where you managed to defeat this troop, grabbed one and absconded with them, found a safe house, and interrogated them. We finished with you, Imogen, sending a message to Ashton, who'd been missing for quite a few hours. And you said...
Something along the lines of, where in the hell are you? Shit's going down. We need to leave town stat.
You hear back from Ashton.
Yeah. Okay. I'll head right towards you. It'd be nice if you told me where you are! You can't reply to this message.
I'm going to send a message back to Ashton. I'm just going to assume we're headed towards the seminary here in a bit. So that's where we'll meet you.
Spoilers original.
Okay.
Give me short.
So, gathering yourselves, closing the warehouse behind you, trudging back into the bustling city streets of Eos, you head through the Endeavor Ring, back to the Northern Dominion Ring, up the large sets of winding stairs, beyond the statues of the various heroes and founders of the city, through the central courtyards and walkways, till eventually come to the base of the stairs that lead up into the Aydinlan Seminary.
Trudging to you, you see slowly, unhappily, is it a young man with dark brown hair, some bad skin, in chef's whites, in a chef's hat, covered in tomato sauce, some sort of sticky apple pastry filling, just viciously filthy from food refuse, trudging towards you all.
Just don't make eye contact.
The fuck happened to all you?
Sorry, are we acquainted?
Oh, shit, hold on. And a glamour drops. I'm just filthy in chef's whites and the chef's hat covered in food.
Wait, I didn't know you could do that. Who was that?
Are we going somewhere?
Yes, sure. Yeah, we can walk. We talk.
Okay, we're going. So, while we were walking up the stairs, one of the like fucking smart people were walking. I recognized a face. It's a person I used to work with. Their name is Violet. They're the person that you call when you want to find someone who's missing or trying to hide or taking care of somebody. They're bad news. And we made eye contact, and just long enough that I felt that I should just really quickly run down, try and catch them super, super quick. Didn't have enough time to explain to you what the fuck was going on to make sure we weren't being followed by very bad people with bankrolls.
Right.
We turned around, you were gone.
Yeah, I went, had a brief interrogation of Violet, and...
They interrogated you, or you interrogated them?
I interrogated them at first, but they're really, they're so smart. And you start talking, and then suddenly you're answering questions, and you didn't mean to be, and so I accidentally told them like a lot. And then it turns out they weren't here for us, so that's good. They're on a whole other thing, but then they knew enough that they could have turned us in for money. So I agreed to just do a quick 60-minute tag along just to sort of clear that up so to make sure that no word is going to get back.
You freelanced on the side?
I may have helped kidnap a mobster. There was a lot went down.
So you did a job for this person so that they wouldn't be able to blackmail us or to hold one over on us? And
Deal's a deal.
Was the job successful?
Oh yeah, the job was successful.
That's wonderful.
Oh my goodness.
That's such a busy
Does
morning.
any, you know?
Is a lot.
I'm so tired. And apparently have at the very least some version of a person that is thankfully not me, I should take these off, has really pissed off one of the local mobs. So I'm going to, I would really, thank you for that. I really need a shower and a drink.
Well, the good news is
the
we're
same
leaving
time.
town real soon.
Oh, good.
We're a little tight on time.
Let's go.
Watch.
All right.
All right.
All right.
We roll.
So the 4 of you are going in. The rest of you are waiting out in the...
You know, it's only after a break from everybody that you realize how fucking weird this whole group is.
That's fair.
Who are we looking for? What are we looking for?
Can we describe the Ruby Vanguard?
The what?
The Ruby Vanguard?
Oh, the Ruby Vanguard.
Wait, don't say so loud.
Ruby Vanguard.
Okay, yes. Quiet.
The Ruby Vanguard.
What do you know about the Ruby Vanguard?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I don't know the
Have you heard of
RV.
We gotta get out of this city. Why don't you guys go in there and figure out what you can figure out?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We take up different corners and...
Okay. Just sit tight. Okay. The 4 of you are going to Khadijah or Vitro?
Vitro first.
Okay. Following the directions that you were given by Carol, you follow this pathway, and then it leads into a walled-in courtyard where in the middle of it there is a brass-roofed 2-story structure that kind of goes into like a spiral point at the top. You go ahead and continue to dart through. You go up the next staircase that switches back and forth, goes to the second floor, look around a bit, eventually coming to a door that does read Professor Vitro Isham.
I'll rap on the door with my hand.
Hello?
Wow. May I come in, Professor? Sorry. I'm Professor Isham, here to visit.
As the door opens, you immediately see a male Fearbog. Looks like in his late 30s, early 40s. Sorry, we're not supposed to let people... Oh.
Hi. Smiley day to you, sir.
Smiley day to you. What order is this? Oh my goodness.
We were told that you're an expert in all things automaton.
But I am an expert in a lot of things, automaton. I don't think all the things, but I'm working on getting better at it. And I just was not expecting this sort of an arrival. Hello, you are all what?
With him.
They're not automatons. They're...
But I kind of got a bit of a feel for it. Well, at the very least, step inside. I'd like to have a conversation with this one.
Absolutely.
FCG, you said?
Fresh cut grass is what I'm
Fresh
called.
cut grass. Wow, this is nice. Please, come on inside. Come on inside. All of you, come on
Do
inside.
you want to go to your professor, or do you want?
I could try.
You don't have to be here. I mean, I appreciate the support, but maybe you should take the opportunity.
Sure. Yeah, go on. I will. I'll meet you in the front.
Fine, why don't you go with Imogen?
Okay.
Come on into my facility, please.
Sure.
Please, step on in. Opens the door, and you can
amazing.
see, thank you. I'm you are very much pumping up my self-esteem, being what you are. Please. And as he walks in, you can see like he has like a set of workshop clothes on, a leather apron as he kind of opens the door further to see his full frame. And he's a scrawny looking dude. But he kind of ushers you in and closes the door behind you. On the inside, you can see there are sets of seats. This is definitely a classroom where many students would sit in kind of bleacher arranged rows on one side of the chamber. The other side of it has a number of workshop tables laid out, and there are chains with hooks hanging from the ceiling. You can see there's all manner of pulleys and ropes. This is definitely kind of like an observational classroom / workshop.
Very well. Well, you have my attention. You put me away from my lunch break, but
Oh, sorry.
What? Oh, it's okay. I can get to it later. Don't worry.
I don't want to waste your time.
This is not a waste of my time. This is a rare opportunity.
It's an opportunity for me too, and I'll tell him sort of a brief, abridged history of my memory of the last, how I was created, dancer, Imahara Joe.
Oh, yes, Joe. No,
Oh, you know Joe?
Yes, it's been some time since we've interfaced, but we send letters and give recommendations. He's one of the greatest minds of, automaton and arcane locomotion in Marquet, though he would say maybe he's, he could be better used in more, how do I put it? Official capacities, but I understand he wants to maintain good business. I don't disrespect it at all, so just glad to have the connection. But I am the professor here of independent arcane locomotion. I am also professor of abjuration and enchantment implementation and automaton engineering. So, Professor Vitroy Sham at your service.
Oh, that's exactly what I need. I've been trying to find answers about what I was created for. Honestly, I feel like in order to move forward with this life that I have, I kind of need to know what I've done. Because if I've done bad things, I kind of want to know that.
Well, let me take a look at you. If you are okay with me.
Absolutely, please.
Must be a bit uncomfortable poking around, but I will make sure you are comfortable.
Whatting around?
Poking around.
Oh, okay.
He goes ahead and brings you over to the center of the chamber, brings down two of the chained hooks and kind of affixes them to the inside of your shoulder joints there.
That's all right? I feel okay?
I don't feel a thing.
Perfect.
Gets to the back and just Ben's cranking it, kind of starts lifting
that's
you
some
up.
pressure.
And kind of lifts you about 3 or so feet off the ground. So you're just kind of hanging there freely. Comes back to you, changes the lenses on his glasses.
Do you mind if I open the chassis?
I'm sorry, the what?
The carapace, the chassis.
Yes, you may open the chassis.
Thank you very much.
Goes ahead and pulls out a small grapple tool.
Professor,
Oh, yes?
he's a bit stressed out.
Oh, yes.
today.
Oh.
And bad things happen when he, reaches his limits. So just be gentle.
I may have been created as an assassin thousands of years ago, and I've been known to do violent things. So just protect you. Maybe wear eye protection. Just protect yourself.
His eyes go red.
Oh, you know what, Laudna, take my, and I'll disconnect my saw blade
Yes.
and all my other weapon arms and.
As you're pulling out all these different, it's
Very interesting series of accompaniments. All right.
Put these over here.
Well, let's take a look.
lifts and ting, ting, pulls open the front of your chest cavity once more, very similar to how Imahara Joe was kind of looking through you. Kind of begins looking through some of the interiors, goes,
This very much confirms some of my suspicions. You're a automaton. Specifically, I think I see here you are a harmonious automaton.
Harmonious?
Harmonious automaton. It was a very, very particular design of the old Arcanum City. I need to be inclusive. This is what you are. You're designed as peacekeepers and diplomatic associates.
Peacekeepers?
Yes, often used as guides and communicators throughout the ancient city.
But I was under the impression that I was constructed to be some sort of a Trojan horse, a false...
Well, if you were part of a specific part in the history, then that is possible.
kind of sits there and thinks for a second. It's like, now I've heard rumors of Aeromatorns
emerging in recent years, but none had come through Eos before. This is a rare treat. The event I'm speaking of is called the Care and the Culling. Now, I've read of this event, which a number of automatons were altered to turn on their companions as a gift. It was largely made as political gifts from Aor to their rivals, and then all in one day they just turned around and murdered or attempted to murder the person they were given to. So it caused a large shift in Aorian dominance during the age. If that is what you are, it will be extra special and careful. Continues to still look through, and it feels a little strange, especially since he starts getting into kind of the deep undercore that Imahara Joe kind of stopped at. He goes, oh wow. Pulls his head out. This might be a little uncomfortable. Let me know if I need to stop at any time.
No, please, I need to know.
All right.
Even if I scream, just keep going.
All right. Let's get in here. And he starts...
How are you doing that?
Reaches in, and you start feeling this spark, almost like a weird tension. It's like,
do you feel that?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
All right, I found... Sorry. You are fitted with quite the unique arcane power accumulator. I will be very honest with you.
Arcane power accumulator.
Yes, okay. It is far larger than what is needed for an automaton of your size, which might very well confirm the fact that you were either altered or created for this, the Care and the Culling event. Are you able to access any arcana yourself?
Yes, I am, and I don't know how I'm able to. I have many powers, some healing, but also many that are destructive.
Destructive makes sense. Healing, that is a bit confusing. It's not all, I do not recall any of the Hemornius Armatons in that specifically event that had healing prowess, but it's possible. I mean, all the history books are not entirely, fully fleshed out.
Could it be that I was programmed with those capabilities to trick or fool someone to let me closer to their...
It's possible.
And you feel this tension release.
Moon River.
Okay. And you watch as he pulls out from inside your chest, still attached through a series of these cables with arcane tethers.
Hamster in a wheel.
Yes. That are kind of giving these little pulses of light that are leading up inside. This large sphere of deep blue, almost like a light purple color. This glow of arcane energy that's kind of it looks.
You said it's deep blue?
It's like a deep blue purple coloration. It looks very much like some of the arcane cores that you've seen used in other automatons and throughout Imahara Joe's shop, but it's different. It looks stranger. There's an intricacy to the mooring and the metal elements to kind of hold it in place. And you watch as he holds it very carefully and goes,
I think this might be part of the source for your abilities, your powers, but I would caution this, it could be unstable due to age or damage, and most arcane accumulators, when ruptured, can detonate in an extremely destructive degree. Perhaps it was installed as a failsafe? I don't know.
A failsafe, you mean it's not necessary to my function?
Well, this is necessary to your function, but it also, if it was to be overcharged with too much arcane power,
I see. Failsafe
you would take out most of this building. So we're gonna go ahead and put this back. We're gonna put this back. We're gonna very carefully put this back.
Because it puts it back on your body.
Boy.
Oh, shit. You got a dead man switch.
All right, so good news. It does not appear to be ruptured at all. So that is very good. There's no leaking of power or energy. Does not mean you need to worry about being jostled too much and then kablooey. Sorry, my apologies. No need to worry. It's very safe. Just don't go fiddling with it. Do not be connecting outside arcane terminals or anything. It will cause bad scene.
Like boom bad?
Probably. But this is just an observation.
Huh. And there's... So where I'm from and when I'm from, and possibly my original design, but I've been modified to do something else.
That is what I'm thinking is what mostly happened at the time.
I can only remember a couple years back, though. Do you know how my memories are stored, or if there's a way to access them, or?
See, the problem is, not problem, but the challenge is, the enchantment technology, the incantations that were utilized in the creation of the automatons were specific to Eor, and they were lost from the city. No one can make, as far as I understand, new beings like you. You were very special. You were from a time in which this secret was known and utilized, but that time is past. You are both a relic of history and a very unique, special person.
You're a person.
That's what they keep saying.
Well, I think they might have a point there. I mean, but yes, as a person who has studied some of this history, like a lot of the automatons worked very hard and during that period of time to establish themselves as equals amongst their creators. There was a long period of Aryan history in which they were just considered servants. And there was, as much as Eor gets a lot of negative information written about it, and rightfully so, like, there was also a beauty in some of what they made. Yourself very included, so you should not be unfair to where you came from. There are many, and I mean this because I've had my own challenges in the past. There are many people in Exandria that maybe weren't that good in their early years, but they, you were not defined by what you were told your purpose was. You carve your own path.
This is a good guy.
He's a very good guy. And he's right. Listen to him.
Yeah. All right. Could I just make one quick request?
By all means.
It seems like I have this energy source within me. I was wondering if you could just make some sort of like an opening and an access point, not to get to the energy source, but a safe sort of compartment, small, but it could harness and access that heat and possibly over time bake things.
Oh.
An easy bake oven.
I had not considered this. This is
difficult to make oven.
Yes, that would not be a difficult thing to do whatsoever. Let's give it a shot.
All right.
Pulls you back up and pulls out the tools. So you are getting your alteration of your easy bake oven underway. Mm-hmm. Imogen and Fern, what are you doing?
We are going to find Khadijah Sumal's office.
Okay, so it doesn't take too long. The better part, about 20 minutes of carefully skulking through halls, passing by doorways, looking for any sort of emblems or placards that state different offices or classrooms. And many of them are just classrooms. They're just labeled specific, like, names. You do, after passing the main halls and kind of the cluster of various, like, lecture halls themselves, you go towards the back of the main building, kind of far behind where the clerk desks were and kind of away from the building that you had left the two of them at. And you do manage to find some offices and one that is marked with Suma. The door is closed.
Look around.
No response.
Professor?
I'm working on something right now. There is no classes today.
This is not in regards to your class?
Hey, this has to do with like some Ruidus-born shit, so I think you should open the door.
Candy ring.
Like 7 locks unlock on the door before Peeking through, you see just kind of the left-hand side of an older female orc. Get inside. Opens the door. She moves around to the back of her desk where she was sitting beforehand. All right, you have my attention. What are you talking about?
In her head, she hears, have the Judicators come looking for you yet?
She immediately, like, hearing your voice in the head kind of has this moment of shock and recognition, and then steals her face. Returns in her own head towards you, in response to you, not through her pushing it into your mind, but just receiving it. No, they have not come through here. Thankfully, I have done my best to just be a professor.
We were, with Professor Kai recently.
Recently?
Yes.
Good. It's been a couple of weeks since we've connected. Where did you see him?
I'm not gonna say just in case anything happens.
Okay.
But he's safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can obviously tell that you are one of the Ludinus born.
Liliana Temmel was my mother. Is my mother.
And she get like at this point she's kind of been like her eyes darting around the room a little bit. Now she gets like a really good look at you and goes, yes, she is. Okay.
What could you tell me about her?
There was an archive that we were assembling. Looks at Fern for a second. Looks at the door. Looks at the window. We called it the Omen Archive. Along with Ebenold and some compatriots that are no longer part of this project, we began to compile this. It was a full studious breakdown of every major historical figure that we knew of who was Ludinus born, as well as a collection of information about numerous modern Ludinus born. So the Exultant, as we called them, were the Ludinus born with the most fascinating anomalies. Your mother was the first we had encountered.
Wow.
She came to us asking questions, looking for answers, and we were looking for more answers to more questions. It was kind of cracking open a much bigger thing than we all were anticipating to follow. For a long time, Ludinus was just assumed to be a superstition, and Ludinus born as a phrase used as a sort of a means of othering people. And maybe there is something to that now that we know that there is a connection, or at least with some. There isn't a big history of exultants, maybe a handful through history, but the number of recent ones has grown. We counted at least 12 in the years that we were studying, and we assume there were more, but we began to have to hide our studies in openness. There was a lot of questions from people we didn't know, a lot of outside individuals who were prodding about our research, and I don't trust that.
Do you know if Odahanthul is an exultant as well?
Otahan was one of our last exultant research subjects. They came in on their own accord to inquire. They seemed to already kind of, it's hard to explain, like they already knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
And they just kept asking a lot of questions. And we did a few of our tests. We began to look for the limitations of our abilities, and at a certain point it just began to get more uncomfortable, and we stopped. And they seemed unhappy with the limitations of what we were allowing to impart upon her, and well, that was when the Verity, and she kind of looks again for a point of recognition.
We know what that is.
The Grim Verity, we kind of began to hide our movements. She
she couldn't make a scene here in the middle of the seminary, but some of our members who were off-site and not under such protections began to disappear. And so we scattered. I was questioned a couple of times, but said that I absolved myself of any of this and have been working hard to just maintain an air of a on retirement path professor here. Anyway, sorry, that got off topic there. So the Exultant, like your mother.
Yes.
They were the first to exhibit these special abilities. They were also the first to speak of the Rylora.
What the who?
What is that?
So some of the Exultants, as well as near Exultant through this born, so at least those with very strong dreams who were older and maybe had been finding ways to connect more often. These dreams, they involved walking on dust storms and what felt like it was on Ruidus' surface. They were meeting other Ruidus-born within this landscape, within shared dreams.
Yes.
And some of them began meeting a collection of entities.
Oh, shit. Yes.
Like crimson beings that referred to themselves as the Rylora. They were first believed to be like dream state beings outside of our standard cosmology. They spoke without words, presenting riddles and asking for alliance or subversion. It was an extreme curiosity, but also kind of an ominous portent the further we pushed into our research, and we kind of began to pull back a little bit. So, she looks at the door again, looks at the window. It's been long theorized that the flares were a way for these Rylora to tether or connect themselves with Exandrians. At this point of birth, they would essentially mark them or find a way to reach out to someone upon them entering these planes and then holding that tether. And then the dreams would start coming. So your mother was one of the very connected who could speak with and try and interpret and communicate these communications with the Rylora.
My mother, I think, had the ability to push herself into other people's dreams.
Yeah, she was beginning to develop that when we told her to pull back because of the Rylora communications.
Did you help her with that ability? How did she?
We guided her through it. We had many specific induced dream sessions within the seminary to try and push to whatever limits there might have been. And it was incredible, the progress, but it became too worrying. There's only so far you can push into the unknown before the unknown begins pushing back.
Right. I do get the dreams as well, and I would love if you had any kind of ability, any tips you could give me to help me push back, if you've discovered anything at all.
Let me, she goes into one of the shelves and starts going through books. Pulls one down, takes a key out of the book, puts it back on the shelf. Very special book.
Keys.
Goes to where her desk is and pushes the desk forward about a foot. There's a small latch and a 6-inch by 6-inch door, a trap door underneath where the desk was. She unlocks it, pulls up a thick, a thick leather wrapped something, sets it on the desk. Opens it up, and there's a stack of pages, like vellum, that are torn. So the archive was taken not long ago. We knew it was in danger of being stolen by some of these individuals that have maligned interests in our research. So I removed a number of pages from all the text that I'd left behind.
I think I may have some notes based on this work here. She begins reading through and checking through the pages. Every 2 pages, she looks up at the door, looks at the window, looks back down, starts reading through. All right, so here's some notes from the last sleep session we did with Liliana. She preferred violin music, so we had a violinist within our staff that we brought in for these sessions. There was a particular kind of like a lavender vanilla scent that she enjoyed that helped get her into a mindful state. Also locks on the door.
Shit. They open.
And she goes,
I'm gonna stand.
and moves the pages.
Get to the door.
The door
Just cover the door.
opens.
You're standing against. Wait, you're standing against
I'm
the door.
just standing in the doorway to try to just distract and be big and fluffy.
Okay. So you stand in the doorway and you flex and you turn. And standing there in the doorway, you see an older-looking elven man.
No!
With long white silver hair.
No!
Long blue, gold, silver robes.
Hello.
Jewelry. Oh, hello.
Hi. What are you? I'm sorry, we're just in the middle of something.
That's all right. I'm here to speak with the professor, if you don't mind.
Can you just wait like 5 minutes?
No. He begins to step in your direction.
Whoa, 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 whoa. We're having a girls' tea.
He just kind of gives you a look and runs his fingers, and you feel this kind of influence try and pierce your mind, and your Fey ancestry manages to shrug off the effect.
Ooh.
He smiles and kind of chuckles. Amusing.
What's your name? What's your name? Don't walk in here without telling me your name.
I'm Martinet Ludinus Da'leth of the Cerberus Assembly of the Dwendalian Empire.
One more time, because that's so long.
I don't have time for this.
Ludinus?
He looks past and begins to walk past you, just like entering the chamber behind you. You have ignored assembly requests for meeting for weeks now, and we are working on a short timetable.
I'm a bam mister.
Okay?
Monkey with a gun.
The door slams behind him without him touching it, and it locks.
Oh.
Shit.
And he just kind of continues. I believe you know why I'm here. I now know who you are, and with whom you ally.
I feel like we're intruding on something.
Yeah, this feels very personal. Like we shouldn't be
You
here.
might learn something. And he moves his fingers like this, and 2 chairs in the chamber shift it behind you and kind of kick you down into a sitting position. Looks back to the professor. The archive recovered is extremely important to our research, but necessary excerpts have been missing. I would request at the behest of the Dwendalian Empire and the other members of the Cerberus Assembly that you turn over the remainder of the archive of your own volition. She just kind of looks at him. You now notice that as the door began to open, she had already shifted the papers off the desk, but the desk hasn't been moved back, and there's just an opening in the ground where they're just kind of resting. She goes, we gave over everything. It was delivered. It should have all been there already. I'm just a professor. I'm a teacher.
We're just teachers. We're just teachers.
We know you're not just a teacher. Few of you are. And he goes ahead and kind of brings his hand up and traces like 1 half circle in the air, threads his fingers through it, and kind of releases just this little flick in her direction. As it does, you see this little green tether that drifts in an arch towards her head. It touches her forehead and then kind of turns into smoke. And she immediately goes, of course. Reaches down, grabs it, stands up, and hands it over to him.
Wow.
He takes it. That wasn't so hard, was it? Puts it into his robes. I do hate robbing them of their will. But some things are more important. You may sit. She sits down, kind of rests her hands on the desk and just waits. He turns over to the two of you. She was right. You do look just like your mother. I'm sorry, I'm being terribly rude. I've introduced myself to you, but not to you. I'm Ludinus Da'leth, the Martinet of the Cerberus Assembly. It is genuinely a pleasure to meet you. I've heard of your prowess.
A pleasure.
What is your business with the Professor?
I had heard I was just trying to find my mother, and I knew that she had spoken with this professor in the past, and I was just hoping to find out anything about her. I lost her when I was very young.
Sorry to hear that. If you have any burning questions, you're welcome to ask me as well. Very few have the opportunity to speak of someone of such history and repute. It seems some of our... he looks down to where he put the documents in his robe. Interests may overlap.
Do you work with her personally?
For some time, yes. She's been rather integral to what we're doing. And I think I will be eternally grateful for what she's done. We all will be. You should be proud.
I am. Thank you. If we were interested in helping your cause as well, what would we do?
Look, I know you've had dalliances with the ignorant masses that try and tangle our hard work. I know you've confronted my associate, Thule. And I'm not blind enough to believe that you are just seeking entry into our merry band.
Of course not.
But I also know you only speak from a place of ignorance and misunderstanding. I'm not the one doing this. There are many of us working together to make this happen. This is important work. It's my life's work. So, do you want to know how to help? Stop resisting.
Stop resisting.
Are you Ruidus born as well?
I have my connections to the Red Moon, yes.
Does it speak to you directly?
I've had my conversations, yes.
Huh.
I think your mother would love to see you. She's talked about him.
What'd she say?
She's sad that her destiny took her on a different path. And she hoped it wouldn't lead you to the dangerous threads of fate that tug her ever away. But it seems you share a very similar destiny.
She's been beckoning me to her for quite a while, and I've been resisting, but maybe it's time to give in.
He gives a very intense look at the two of you. Do you know what we're doing?
Learning bits and pieces. The power is pretty enticing, though, I gotta say.
Power is just a tool. All power is just a tool. Only the fools through history use it for personal gain and useless, eventually forgotten means.
If you succeed, though, will it go away?
Parts of it will. For those that have cheated through boons unearned beyond just faith. This society is born on those who have gained power transactions. Unearned except for granting their succor and obsession to these gods. We've never needed them. They've always needed us. They act only to preserve themselves.
How old are you?
Old enough? Gives you a look. You're not of any faith either, are you?
I
Why?
never needed it.
Why?
Why don't I have faith in the gods?
Yes.
They don't mean anything to me.
Good. He turns to leave. Steps to the door, moves his finger. Steps to the threshold, turns around. We are the seeds they plant, and till, and water. They struggle in the maze they shaped. Then when we expire, they return to their private gardens to be harvested and feed their power and dominance. Because they told us there is no alternative. This is how it is, and we must thank them for it. We may be their creations, but all children outgrow their parents. And they came to fear our development. Our potential. The matron. The age of Arcanum. The growing will of the mortal mind. The divergence, it wasn't to protect us. It was to protect them from us. And he steps out of the room and the door closes.
What is, the professor doing through all this?
She's just sitting there with a smile on her face and a tear rolling down her cheek.
We'll send somebody for you.
She now looks over and kind of smiles and nods.
We have a lot to do.
We've got a lot to do. Let's head out to the front.
Okay, let's go to the front.
Okay. In the interim, the three of you out front.
Oh, yeah.
So I come to in this pantry, and I wake up. I'm tied to a chair, and Violet's just behind me, and that sociopathic elf just will not shut the fuck up.
Not this time, Morim. As I'm in this conversation, you're kind of like...
Solly was just yelling at me.
Looking off at the top of the stairs, you see descending an individual that catches your attention.
And we didn't see that individual approach the building.
No.
Wowzers.
And it's long white hair.
Long white, silver hair, long blue, gold robes. Older elvish gentleman, just hands kind of tucked into each other's sleeve, just walking down the stairs.
Shiver up Orm's spine, but he's going to try not to react at all.
Doesn't seem to acknowledge or make any specific motions towards noticing or giving really any interest in your directions. Descends to the bottom of the stairs and continues walking out into the main cobblestone thoroughfare beyond the entry walls to the seminary.
There.
What?
And I point in the crowd to him, I assume, like vanishing into the crowd. Memorize that fucking guy's head.
Taking the robe, the hair, the face.
Hard and ass.
That's
Like
Dawes.
the young face.
What?
Gotta be. We gotta get inside. They might not be okay.
Go.
Yeah, we gotta get inside.
All right, no, come on. Casual.
As you all begin to shuffle in, we come to the two of you. All right, looking at this.
Oh, wow. This is so cool.
Oh my god.
Wow. That's so neat.
It's got a little compartment to make sure that when you eat the things, it stays in there and doesn't end up falling all over the place and onto the ground. So that way you have both the intake of that and the intake of this, both work simultaneously.
Wow. Thank you so much, Professor. This is great.
It has been a complete honor. I have never really had the opportunity to give direct adjustments to an automaton. This is... I cannot wait to put together a lecture about this experience.
Well, like I said, I'll check in soon. And, hey, we're going to head out, but we should go find them. Where's Professor Sumal's office?
Oh, Professor Sumal. Yes, you head down.
It gives you the directions around the space to it.
A very, very safe journey to both of you to Fresh Cut Grass. An absolute honor.
Takes your hand and kind of holds it and kind of looks you directly in the eye.
I hope our paths cross once again.
I hope so, too.
They will.
About this time, as you guys are heading in that direction, the three of you begin to enter the hall just as you see a bit above you, entering from a different direction, FCG and Laudna.
Do.
What are you doing?
Where are Fern and Imogen?
We were just going to go meet them in
They're in
some
the
else.
other office.
Did you hear something?
No, we just saw Da'leth. What? Heading out of the seminary.
Fuck, I'm gonna head that way.
You two, what are you doing?
I'm gonna peek out, go grab everybody, but just scream if something's wrong.
All right.
You step out the door, pulling it open again, glance out, and just literally 10 feet to the left, you see the rest of your friends, right there.
Hey.
Barge past Fern.
You enter the interior of the office, and you can see the scene here. This kind of dark lit interior, the desk shifted forward slightly, and the professor just kind of sitting as you all enter. The professor kind of smiles as you all enter.
Hey, Mr. Orem.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
He got the Omen Archive.
Da'leth saw him on the front steps.
He got everything they had left. Her mind is...
I just grab Imogen. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
Did he do anything to you?
He didn't hurt us.
What did he say? What happened?
He said so much. He wants... I don't know.
All right, well, I agree with Chetney. We've got to get the fuck out of here, so let's go. Did you say that?
Did I say that?
You did.
With your posture.
Yes, I could tell.
I'm glad I'm rubbing off on you.
Okay, I'm gonna send a message to Planerider Rin.
Via sending?
Yes.
Okay.
We're in Sumal's office. We need a fast exit. She's been hurt.
Rather rapid response from Planerider. Well, shit. I was really hoping that he was elsewhere. On my way. It doesn't take long for, in the doorway itself, the form of Planerider Ringe kind of apparates. A familiar sight to those who have used invisibility.
What's up, man?
Visitor ping. All right, that's certainly curious. Oh, my dear.
You can do mind things, right? Can you fix her?
This is a bit far from my purview. This is going to be more of a divine healer. I think I may have somebody I can bring to for this.
You're gonna take her under your protection for now?
Unless you plan to, I'll...
No.
Do you know? Or does Evan Old Kai know what was just stolen? What's in those pages?
She kind of thinks for a second. As far as I know, the remaining pieces that were part of those papers, they included the names of all the known living exaltants within Exandria. As part of the archives notes. It also detailed the rotations of Ruidus, and the pattern of its orientation during each flare through recorded history.
We go to the Fey Realm.
Still feel like we should hit the
We're going to the
Fey
fucking
first.
Fey
Let's change that plan.
Hopefully that buys us some time.
We gotta shit or get off the pot. Let's go to the Fey Realm.
Let's go.
Are we doing it? Are we doing it?
Yeah, we're going.
Let's go.
Bryn!
All right, very well. Where are you off to?
Oh, did you have a specific location of the
Other than
Fey Realm?
Grandma,
Sure. We are going to the Harrowcall Fens. More specifically, if we can just go straight to Grandma's house. It's known as Ligament Manor.
Ligament Manor?
Now I'm excited.
Fucking
I really was
slow-rolling
excited.
piece of shit.
Now I'm excited.
Ligament Manor.
Sounds cozy.
I'm into this now.
So chewy.
So,
All right, gather up. To the Fey Realm, the Harrowcall Fens?
Harrowcall Fens.
Not been there. Now tell me how it is when you return. I'm genuinely curious. And the Ligament Manor. She pulls out this long wooden case, unlatches and opens up, and you see these series of unique looking metallic rods, each about between 4 to 6 inches long. Reaches over and grabs one that looks like a gnarled root, about that long. And as she goes and touches it and pulls it, you watch as 2 flowers spontaneously bloom on it. All right, cuddle up. It's gonna be a ride.
Holy shit, we're going off world.
Guys, this is gonna be
fun.
Hope I don't kill you.
Let's go.
She goes and places the rod between her hands, and she begins to trace
What?
up in the air around her, begins to carve this circle in the air, and as she does, you watch as the air kind of divides and splits, almost like she's a knife through silk. And you watch as the silk begins to fall forward. There is this kind of spiral, this tunnel of energy. And as she carves around this large circle, as the rest of this kind of silk of reality falls forward, leaving this opening to this kind of constantly swirling, endless tunnel, she walks around it and goes, "Get in," and pushes you all into it. You all immediately being pulled through, kind of free-falling, grabbing onto each other before you all land out the opposite side into this kind of soft, spongy ground. Dark lit. The space around you is unfamiliar and disorienting. You're not entirely certain for a few moments what's up, what's down, before you all come to stop and kind of rest.
That was amazing.
Are we here?
welcome.
You now see yourself in a creepy, magical marshland of stacking, gnarled trees that twist in odd directions to form a large web-like ceiling of corkscrew branches and trunks in all directions for hundreds of feet. You don't even see a canopy of leaves. It's just a lattice work of trees that twist around each other and bend, leaving just little gaps and just a hint of this kind of pinkish purple skylight that occasionally peeks through.
Fern, is this your vibe?
It is absolutely my vibe.
Okay.
And welcome to my home.
You glance around and you just kind of look at the small flowers that are kind of peeking off the sides of the trees. And as you approach, you watch this tiny little, like, bright orange and red and like a deep green coloration on the petals. As you approach, they kind of open across the tree, and some of them almost seem to be leaning in your direction.
Hey! This way, right? Thank you. It's been a while. Love you, bye.
They'll kind of nod towards you.
We do know them.
What?
I know pretty much everything here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we may have made a mistake.
Right this way. Right this way.
Is Fern a little bit weirder right now?
Now, this is the interesting point. When you look at Fern, she's Fern, but there's something different about her. Her features are sharper. Her eyes are bigger and deeper. The ears seem to almost be longer. Her limbs seem to be just slightly exaggerated. There's this otherworldly kind of air about her that is just unique.
All right, let's go.
You begin to follow Fern through this odd landscape. It rises and falls, and as it falls, it grows damp. As it rises, it grows more damp. You see these puddles, but the puddles almost seem to curve over the top as you step over them, kind of defying the physics of water in other places you've walked or been. As you kind of step around it, occasionally you watch it seep in, and the ground descends and other parts rise. You begin to feel like the landscape itself is slowly breathing around you, like the actual surroundings is its own living organism. You almost swear you could hear breathing. Almost. But you also pick up a familiar scent. The smell of burning oils. Oils that are squeezed from some of the swamp roots. The lanterns that your Nana uses. You're close.
I'm gonna follow the scent.
Okay. Through Fern's focus and smile, you just begin to excitedly leap and bound through the bits. It's a little challenging for the rest of you to keep up, but you do your best. Eventually, the marshlands get thicker and thicker. And then all at once, break open into a spherical, dome-like opening amongst them. This hidden glade amongst this heavy, twisted, almost bramble-like wall of trees and branches. In here, you see an enormous tree-like structure in the center, enshrouded in an endless tangle of teal moss-covered vines that seem to protrude and then dangle hundreds of feet down the outside of it to the point where you cannot see the tree itself. The air here hangs with a heavy weight. A presence that leaves your breath thick and chilled. Welcome home, friend.
Do you feel that?
In your chest.
Yeah, that warmth. That happy warmth. I'm gonna start booking it to the front door.
As she charges up to it, you're like, is she gonna climb the vines, or is it going? And as she gets within 5 feet, you watch as a large section of the vines pull apart like curtains or drapes. And immediately you can just see beyond that, the shattered interior, just the faintest bit of warm, flickering firelight sourced somewhere within the canopy. You step within the tree, and you can see the actual trunk of this structure. This is probably the largest tree you've seen aside from the sun tree. It's comparable in its thickness.
Wow.
About 30 feet up, it splits into two separate trunks that then wrap around each other in a corkscrew upward. And along the corkscrew, multiple branches that settle off as you look up, and each one of these little branches seems to caress like a hand. A little hut or a room with little wooden bridges that connect, little wooden staircases that wind up.
Shut up.
This is
Swiss Family Robinson.
this Swiss Family Robinson would blush and be jealous of this abode.
Fern, you grew up here.
Yes.
Just as a voice fills the air.
Enter. We knew you were coming.
Nana?
You're greeted by a low-lit, cozy entryway, a flat expanse at the base of where the split is. You can see it's decorated in knitted dolls placed on little naturally warped tables. You can see animal skeletons that have been posed in dancing positions with each other that are placed up on little shelves and along the sides of the entryway.
Oh, Fern. How we have missed you.
I've missed you so bad! I run over and I just leap into her arms.
You see her leap into this shape, this shadowed shape on the opposite side of this area that kind of like grabs her for a second, then sets her down.
What's the size comparison?
The shoulders of this sit at about 8 or so feet. 7, 8 feet.
So higher than Fern.
The shoulders are wide. In fact, the torso, from what you can tell, is like a barrel, like a massive 7-foot barrel. It's a curious, monstrous body that, after setting her down, kind of shifts in your direction, begins to step further into the light. You watch emerge. A head on a stretching, craning neck. Craning like a giraffe.
What the fuck?
Wreathed in long, tangled white hair, like a horse's mane, that travels down the whole length of it as it extends about 2.5, 3 feet from the shoulders. At the end of it, you see a wrinkled, old woman's face, with a pair of noseless nostril holes, a terrifying wide smile of jagged teeth. Her dark, eyeless sockets each hold a sunken, golden glow. And as the body steps forward, cradling Fern, the full thing at standing height would be close to 10 feet or so, if the head were to stand up straight.
Fern, with your friends, like a cocktail.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes,
Please.
yes. Let's get some cocktails. Let's put some music on. I'm sorry we came in unannounced, but guys, this is my Nana Mori.
Wonderful to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
Welcome, welcome. We have guests.
You hear a voice say,
Welcome. Swell.
Oh, does she have a partner? Or?
No, that's her.
That's also her?
She like pulls open the front of the dress, and you see the barrel torso, a massive pair of sunken eyes, and a second mouth that stretches across the entirety of the belly, that curls into a smile.
Hi.
She kind of pats it with the larger arms.
We haven't had guests in a while. We're excited. Come, let me show you to my tiki bar.
And that's where it ends tonight's episode.
What the hell?